connection. Am I live? Looks like I'm live. Not seeing the picture though. Ah, here we go. Yes, that's because of the delay. Okay, cool. We are live. Hello world. Um, Today I want to do some live coding with a tutorial to make an exciting, kind of like slightly spicier, actually significantly spicier version of Don't Collide, which is a Code Club project I've been running several times, left, right, and center with different kind of ages in clubs and classes. And so I'm like, okay, we can actually do so much better. And I've been meaning to do this video for a while. So without further ado, fade and tab. And here we go. So it all started with Don't Collide, which you can find by looking for Don't Collide Code Club project. It is a runner or kind of a dodge game, or Don't Collide. You're moving across obstacles. They have examples here. I can show you one I've made earlier. So I've got this little tortoise that is dodging cactuses in the desert. And then, you kind of keep score and you make it go incrementally faster. This procedural generation in that the obstacles are like randomly scattered across the screen. And yeah, but there's plenty of more stuff that can be done relatively simply. Indeed, the Code Club brief, which is linked in the description, does give you a lot of latitude vis-a-vis kind of how you draw player and obstacles, and so like the theme that you can make your thing. And then I don't think they mention it, but like with a little bit of forethought to understand network, you could make it change from something like you're going up versus a skiing game where you're going down. But I think there's a lot of stuff that can be done around gameplay, although this one's got lives, for instance. And this is what I want to focus on in this tutorial. So I'll be using the Raspberry Pi code editor, which you will find by looking for code editor Raspberry Pi. And you'll want to be logged in so that you can save your work. So if I'm logged out, I'm here, log in, and start coding Python. Am I logged in? Log in. Right, this is the code editor. It's not, there's plenty of stuff I don't like about this one, but I can collide not. Name your project. You don't want to kind of be looking at document 1, document 48, presentation 5, or even if they kind of randomly generate them, but that's not helpful either, right? Just like name the thing when you create it. Yeah, what's great about the Raspberry Pi code editor is that we can run P5 inside it and inside the browser, and like relatively fast compared to alternatives. So I'm here. This is my code editor. I'm going to keep it here. So I'm going to from P5 import star. And so now if I do say size 400, just going to check it works because I've had some background, spell it right. Make that 127, sort of a middle gray. See if I can run this. Okay, so we can't do this like this, but if I def setup, colon, then select and tab them to indent them, this should work. Oh, you gotta be kidding. Oh, sorry, def setup, line 4. Well, we're not gonna go very far if I can't get anything off the ground here. And let's have an ellipse at 200, 200. And make it 10, 10. I will want to be with a fill of, say, red. You can also kind of do colors like this in processing. It's like a quick demo of everything processing can do, just to see if I can actually get it running. Okay. Oh yeah, of course. And then I need to actually, sorry, I do need to do this. Yeah. So like my sketch, which is the name of a piece of code for processing, should always end with the command run. And now I've drawn 400 by 400 middle gray canvas, and in the middle I've got this red ellipse. So an ellipse filled with red that's got a little outline in black, and that's processing. Okay, indeed that's actually P5. So P5 is a Python port, native Python port of the processing API. The processing API itself is at processing.org. it comes in, you can have different flavors of native apps, and it comes in a baseline version, which is Java. There's P5.js, which runs very well in the browser, and there's a Python flavor. So that's nice. And this is really great to get like little things off the ground really quickly, even little games or arty things, because it's designed for this. So processing, it's a framework for kind of algorithmic art and things like that. It was made for artists. Processing runs with two core functions: setup, that will run once at the beginning, and draw, that will run once every frame. Okay, I've talked about P5. Yeah, okay, so let's go straight in. I'm not going to necessarily follow the tutorial. I'm going to want some global variables in my setup. So my setup is my size is 400, 400. Let's not just do the background just yet. Before the size, I'm going to want some stuff. All right, so I'm going to have a global variable, call it BG for background, and I'm going to set so my background to, okay, this is where we need to talk about HTML colors, or just kind of, color. Let's do it the American way, the HTML color picker. Any viewers in the stream? Any viewers? Stats analytics. Keyframe sequence of 4 seconds or less. I don't know what this means, so I'm just gonna ignore it for now. Yeah, let's pick a color with my HTML color picker. Processing will take RGB codes. I want to make it like really kind of minimalistic and kind of like neon and stuff. I like this, whatever. I'm not an artist, as we will clearly see with my color coordination. And so let's say that's my background. So it's a color, which is a color object, and has this level of green, this level of red, green, blue, RGB color. Size is for, well, let's not get to the size just yet. Do I need the color of the player? To be fair, those are kind of constants, right? Those are kind of configuration constants, actually, because they're not going to change over the life of the game. So I'm going to put them at the top and put them in capitals. I'm not going to make it a global, because you need to make a variable a global inside a subroutine if you want to write it and change its state for other subroutines. Otherwise, if you're just reading it, you should be fine. And my background is going to use BG. And tidy up the blank lines. Boom, boom. Size 400. Yeah, my background's on that size of 400, background of background. And let's see if I can run my ellipse. Didn't work. Cannot read property of null. Maybe I do need to. Sorry, I'm not speaking. I guess you need to have BG defined as a global to access it. Cannot read property of null on line 3. Type error. Oh, you did find a color. Hold on. Where's the one I made earlier? Let's not get to say the global safe. Yeah, global safe color. That's kind of what I'm doing here, though, isn't it? It's kind of the same. Just I don't get why. Maybe it needs to be. Oh, fair enough. To be honest, it runs. I can see why. To be fair, yeah, I understand why now. Yes, that makes sense. I can see why. So what we've done is we're importing everything in the processing namespace. That's why when I call ellipse or background, it knows what to call, and that's not underlined and so on. But for something like the color object, you kind of need to maybe load an object, and that's only going to be available when setup is running. So inside here, yeah, called it. Cool. Fine. So I'm going to have my. That's why it's called setup after all, right? And still constant. Still, can I define several globals on one line? And my player. So then player color. Let's have a nice kind of shade of purple. Well, okay. Complementary. So I'd like something a bit fancier where it can help me work out. Yes, okay. Analogous and complementary. Okay, right, cool. What did I pick? My background is 52, 235, 155. 52, 235. I'm not going to. Okay, fine. You gotta be joking. Can I change those things here? Okay, 52, 235, 155. 155, but 255 is good. I like that too. Well, I'm just saying to kind of, okay, and is that in line with this? Like as you move this, it changes the bottom ones? Yes, okay, good. 52, 235, 155. Was that right? Yeah, I can dig this. Um, let's have some. I don't even know what those things are. Triadic colors. Okay. Complementary. Surely there's only one complementary color. I'm going to have the enemies, maybe that color, fair enough. Well, we could actually do that now, to be fair. I was planning to reveal that later on, but let's have the obstacles uh, also be a color. And so that's going to be my complementary to the 23552 and but tetriadic, what that is, tints and tones, tints and tones. Oh, that's good. That's going to come in handy if I want to make levels where it gets like darker. Yes. We could that could be like a diving thing. Well, I wanted to keep it like really minimalistic and just have like simple shapes drawn in processing. So I'm getting a bit distracted here. Wonder why. Tetradic colors. Uh, yes, and let's get this for the player, right? That's kind of like bold and kind of Klein blue. Is this accurate? Often associated with royalty or the Virgin Mary because it's such an expensive pigment, so you would save it for big occasions. So my background is going to be BG. Does this work though? Can I define more than one global on one thing? Let's find out. Um, okay, background player, right? Now in draw, every frame, let's not have. I'm also going to call no stroke to say I want my shapes without any kind of edge around them. And we can actually it makes more sense to have it like this. And then every frame I'm going to want to draw something, which is going to be to redraw the background. So I'm going to need to have my global access to BG at the very least and redraw the background in color BG, which I could, if I can't type it right, at least I can paste it. And then we need to, I'm just going to call it player. They called it draw player, but I think there's going to be more stuff to do with the player. So dev player. I feel like I'm going to need to make the player X global, but I'm not sure I can remember why. Okay, player X is left to right, so that's going to be how it moves. Well, yes, I need to make it global. Yeah, I knew it. But that's a variable though, because it's player X. So this is so I can write it and change it inside that first call of the function, and then the next time the next function run in the next frame, it has the player variable, the player X variable available. Now the player is going to be an ellipse. No, it's going to be a triangle. I do have a player Y, which is going to be equal to height. I think by default I'm gonna go towards the player at the bottom of the screen, so that's like times 85% of the screen, and I'll get a player X that is equal to. I may have to add player X to this list and initialize it as. So just so that we don't have a problem, player X becomes equal to width divide by 2. Okay, I want the player to be a triangle, which is okay. I'm going to put this in the to-do. So I'm going to start having a big comment. You can use triple double quotes. So there's like sextuple quotes to make it's effectively it's to break up a string across several lines. So that's if you just want to kind of define it and so on. But if you just put it straight in the body of the console, it acts as a comment. So my to-do is going to be player triangle Because triangle, you need 3 points, so like you need to kind of work them plus minus and so on. And if you get like onto the player size, it's not as simple as doing an ellipse. So I'm going to start with a circle, like this little guy here, or gal, this little circle. Player x is equal to player x for now. Let's not worry about this too much. And to draw the player, let's identify what we're doing here, right? So the thing I want to do first is to move it, because I like to move it, right? And we're going to move with the mouse, but I'm doing it a little bit. It's already a bit spicier than the original Don't Collide tutorial. To draw the player, I'm going to, I need to set the fill. There's no stroke, but I need to set the fill to player, which I do need to, I guess, have here to access. I might as well paste them in both. I don't know, because I don't need everything everywhere. That's the point of scope. So I make this the color of the fill, and I draw an ellipse at player X, player Y. And this ellipse should be, you know what? I'm also going to need a player size, aren't I? Yeah, I'm going to need, so I'm going to have a P size as a starting point. Player size, right? Meaningful variable doesn't mean you have to spell it all out. And that's, let's say that to 10, right? So that's in every direction. That was like 5 by 5. I don't even know. Maybe 20. Fine. No, because we want to be, actually make that not 50 because it fit 8. 25. Okay, good compromise. Of course, I will need to make this uh, global. I need to have it here as well. Size without the vowels. In tech, it's okay. 20. What have I broken? Oh, is it? Maybe it's 18 that's broken. No, it's not. Oh yeah, if you def something, you want a colon. Flex is found 24. Yes, because it's. I thought we had done that though. Yes, because I've commented it out. Okay, it needs to be initialized and then ellipse. So expecting 3 arguments. Yes, and then the size is Pearson's. I think if I just pass one, it's a circle. It's smart enough. Yeah. Okay. Is that too big for a player? We'll find out. Certainly, I'm not like super enthusiastic about the colors, but like, yeah, okay. If I turn up the brightness of my monitor, it's better. Yeah, I'll live with that. It doesn't. It's not really about the aesthetics. I will leave that to you. You can customize this heavily, but I think it's simpler if I just because the collision detection Don't Collide, which is the core of Don't Collide, arguably, right? The collision detection code uses get, which weirdly is not like a vanilla P5 thing, which I think seems to be something from the code, the Raspberry Pi version of P5, just in the same way that there's stuff that from the official P5 that it doesn't have when I run this in like Visual Studio or whatever. Okay, where was I? The player X. Oh, I'm going to need something else as well. Another thing that I'll call, say, speed, lateral speed. That's a variable, yeah, because for now, because obviously we want bonuses and things, and so I'll make that. Um, it's not 0.5. Bear with me on this one. So the player X on Don't Collide, the original tutorial will have you move the mouse and then the player just moves where the cursor is. So it's super easy to dodge things. So if you want a bit of a challenge, what we're going to do is every frame, the player X becomes equal to what it used to be like previous frame, obviously, and then we're going to add something. And the thing we're going to have is going to be the difference between the location of the mouse and the player X. So if I'm to the left, it's all going to work out, right? It's going to pull me to the right, etc. But this multiplied by the speed, so we get a factor. So it is player underscore X minus mouse underscore X, and that multiplied by lat speed, I think I called it. Yeah, lat speed. Just like the autocomplete of the Raspberry Pi code editor is the one thing I have to say against it, and in that instance, it doesn't even have the variables. I mean, this obviously I want to. Oh, whatever. I'm not going to moan about this. Okay, so I've broken something. Okay, let me have a look at the one I've made earlier, but I thought it was kind of like, oh, mouse X minus player X. Yeah, I need to do it as backwards, of course, because the mouse, if the mouse is here and the player is larger, mouse X minus player X is a negative number, so it's the other way around. Uh, I'll get some building works next door. Mouse X minus player X multiplied by the lateral speed, and yeah, okay, that's a bit better. So my lateral speed is like too fast because it almost follows the mouse. So let's make that something divide 100. Actually, I don't need brackets for this, if I'm honest. And well, let's have like 2. Right, let's say like 1, right? So like 1%. And now, well, okay, right? Like it takes some time to follow him. Although the farther I move the mouse up to a point, it will kind of accelerate a bit. So already I've got kind of nice and realistic behavior, but that's way too hard. This is going to be if you like hit the thing. Then you can do, and that's the cool part. That's one thing about like possibility of customizing the mechanics. I'm going to bump that. I'm not going to be too. I'm going to bring that to like 3. Uh, I might need to divide this by 1,000 so I can have like a final granularity. But okay, yeah, I like this. That's fine. Okay, so I've got a player rate it moves. That's good. We're gonna need to have some obstacles, I suppose. I had the ob color already like from a while back. Yeah, because I picked that was the complementary. So, well, let's have just like we've had def player, and then def obstacles plural. And I'll start adding them in the thing. Let's call them obstacles because the other thing can have their own name. So for this, we use the fact that random numbers in computing are really pseudo-random numbers. They're generated using a mathematical formula that uses a starting seed, a starting number, and therefore if you use the same starting seed, every time you roll that algorithmic dice, you get the same random number. So it's not very random. But that will allow us to do something random, but that's the same kind of random every frame, and so have our random locations like move along as we draw them again. But for this, we need to seed. So we're going to need to import some stuff from random. Import. We're going to use randint, I believe, and seed. So let's set the seed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for instance, and then for. So the original has you do something like you might draw 6, and then you're going to say the obstacle x is equal to randint. So it's a random integer for the x is in between 0 and width. I'm going to have some globals here, right? Global at the very least ob, and the ob y is equal to a randint between 0 and height, but to which you had frame count. And because it's going to get larger than height, basically the obstacles are going to fall down the bottom. You also do some modular arithmetic to make it cyclical. So you make it equal to itself. I'm not going to use the shortcut. It's equal to itself modulo height. This is what they do in the basic tutorial, as I recall. And of course, what do I do for this? Of course, there's no point doing this. And then I draw an ellipse at at ob x. No, that's what I don't like about the Raspberry Pi code editor is that its autocomplete is on return, not on. I'm gonna need an obstacle size as well, I think. Okay, OSZ and well, they're constants initially, but you can probably change them. No, that's not in player that I wanted. It's in setup. And I'm gonna start it with, so the obstacle's gonna be bigger, right? So I'm gonna start at 40, and this needs to be a comma, not a period. I'm gonna obviously take a fill of the color of the, not the background, of the OB, right? OB, and OSZ, access OSZ as a global, so it's just O as said, again, it's a circle, it's an ellipse. Button pedal F25, line 25. Yes, I had the comma. Try again. Okay, not working there though. Yes, because then I of course need to draw the obstacles, as in call the obstacles, call the function I've just created. Okay, that's this, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not a good seed. Um, so what we're going to do is going to try again until 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, until we get, that's pretty good. Now, of course, you'll notice that it's like really basics in that there's the 6 and they're always in the same location on the screen. So there's always going to be like a free path with only 6 of them and so on. So the first thing I did to spice it up, and I did that in my classes and so on, is to say, all right, instead of height, let's make that height times 50. Why not? Right? And here, instead of height, we're also going to height times 50. So now, instead of doing this thing where I kind of put the obstacles and random onto a strip that's just the height of the screen, now it's like a strip that's like 50 screens wide. And as I'm rotating this around, hopefully the player doesn't have the memory to remember that it's actually the same obstacles all the time. Bearing in mind that's kind of like, we don't find that until level 50 as well. If we kind of, the default in the Don't Collide tutorial is to increment the level every 50 frames. So I've not put a timer on this. When did we start streaming? 25 minutes, first Pomodoro. I like this, pretty good. Hydration break. All right. Maybe take 5-minute break. No. Normally the Pomodoro technique work for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break. Anyway, so now I've got 50 screens, so I'm going to need to have a lot more than this. So let's have 300, maybe even like 500 to start with. And whoa, now there's a problem there. Not sure why. Uh-huh. Oh, that's because of this. Yeah, probably need to do this. Yeah. Yeah, all right. Okay, a bit clustered, but again, you can change the seed. Like that's a matter for the seed, and also, there's 50 screens worth of them. So, but in terms of density, I could probably go to 700. Um, I could make that a variable. Okay, so actually, I'm going to make that. So far what I've done is I tend to put prefix what it is about for the, like, is it the player, is it the obstacle, and then put the size or whatever it was, like color or, yeah, player size, obstacle size. Uh, I should really kind of make that. Fine, I'll put this in the to do. Okay. Some constants are variable, which means I need to rewrite those variables so they're in lowercase. That's just for me. I might do this in between streams, but like, you gotta be a bit like serious about coding standards. So the number of enemies, how about we make the number of enemies? No, I also want to leave it here, of course. Make that variable, or a constant, I guess, for now. Wink, wink. I can probably do this when I start making them vary, right? So let's say we set the number of obstacles is 700 to start with. Let's run this. Okay, well, this feels like like the start is difficult, and this is moving really much slower than I anticipated. But that's the start. That's fair enough. Okay, level scores. No, yeah, we need to do player collision. That's the meat of it. And this is where I'm going to be happy to have all of those things. I don't really need the player one, but I really need the obstacles in the background. So. In my player draw, I'm going to detect collision. S potentially. Detect. And this is where we use get. So if I can't remember how it works, so get player x comma player y, this will return the color at the player coordinates, and I think that returns them as, then I need to make that a hex. If get player x player y is dot hex is equal to let's detect collisions and assume everything is fine, right? Because I think that's an easier, there's an easier way to go about it. If the hexadecimal, so this will get a color, as in like a color object, which is not even the three numbers, is like the actual construction that you build from the three numbers. Here, if I do .hex, then I get like a hexadecimal code I can compare like to like, because even if it's the same numbers, those are not going to be the same color objects because there's different instances in memory, because the pointers are different, whatever. It's a technical reason. There's a technical reason for this. So if at the player I see the color of the obstacle in hex, that's a pretty bad sign. Now, what's interesting is that that's only going to collide when it hits the center, but so if they're the same, why did it doesn't? Are we not? Oh, because it's equal. That's right. Not auto indenting. I'm just going to print collide just to exclamation mark. And maybe I will. I'm not going to make that variable. I'm just going to make fill red for now. I just I can refactor, as we say. The fill is red. Else, not colliding, obviously. Then if it's an else here, then the fill is the player. So yeah, the collision really makes me actually decide which color I'm using to fill the player ellipse, and then I actually draw it whichever way, whether there's collision or not. I need to draw the player, and then we need to deal with game over. All right, so yeah, when I touch the obstacle, I get red, and we've detected collision. Okay, it's not as exciting as like you've got the normal emoji and then the broken emoji or whatever, but that will do for now. The point is the game should stop, obviously, the first time you hit something. So how are we going to make this happen? Is this my next bit? Collision, then the score. All right, so score, I'm going to want this in its own function. They've done it in wherever. I don't even know, but like I'm really deviating from the Code Club tutorial, of course, for the better, I hope. Dev score. So score is going to need two colon, yes, two globals, which are variables, and they are going to be score, of course, and level. And the so detection is in here, so I'm going to score I want to score at the end. So of course when I call something, I define a new subroutine, I need to call it. The score is how far we've traveled, so I reckon that score is just equal to frame count, right? Do I need it as a global then? And I can maybe even then this text size. Okay, text size 16 and player. Okay, player X, player Y. No, not player X, player Y. Okay, 0, 0, 50, 50. Yeah, okay. No, something like that. I can refine this. Like I can text at 50, 50. There's going to be a string that is score. Can I do an F string? Let's not go too crazy. Can I should be able to do an F string though? F strings are formatted strings where you can embed, so like write straight in. I guess frame count. I'm not using score as a variable. Just do frame count. So no score anymore. Global level. I also want that level to be defined as a global in my setup. You know what? I'm going to start making another global line level, and that's a variable. So I initialize variables here. It's level. Lateral speed. I've already forecast that, because this is going to be like a buff or like an object we pick up, but like in a while. Anyway, the level, we start at level 0, and then if frame count modulo height, that is how many times I have gone through full screen, if that's larger than level, then, and well, yeah, no, we can't put Yeah, let's just start simple and test it, and then we'll change it. Okay. Um, so if the frame count modulo the height is larger than the level, then the level becomes equal to actually I can plus that becomes equal to the frame count. I should just increment it, but frame count modulo height. And we'll also print reached level, and then this I'm going to do old school level, like print two arguments. You can print as many as you want, separate them with commas, and they will be printed with spaces in between by default. Text size is not defined on 55, yeah, because it's text size. Flem count, yeah, I've got a. That's probably why the autocomplete doesn't. Text was expecting number for the third parameter. Was a string instead. How does like text work? How does text work? Image, text, obstacles were text. Oh, yeah, it's text. Yeah, okay, it's the string first, and then the so it's like this, I guess. 50-50. Run it. Okay, and then the score is incrementing. Oh, it's changed the fill of the score as well, because that's the last instruction that was when was showing the player, so that's the color. That's good. That's kind of a confirmation. I think I'm going to want a bigger score. Obviously, we could have it like next to the. We could have this printed without the score, right? We could have this just like printed bang in the. You know what? Yeah, let's do that actually. No, because I have to do player X and player Y. I feel like the level thing is not working. No, the level thing must be working. It's just I'm not doing the thing that it should happen. So here, I'm going to pause this for a bio break in a minute. But that's the thing. I've a hydration break and I need a wee break. Move in the sense of spool and peeing. Getting sidetracked a bit. Okay, here. When we add the frame count, that means that every frame, the obstacles move by 1 pixel. Sure. But now I'm going to say, right, they move by 1 pixel multiplied by, I think we're going to want to start at level 1, I guess. And it's going to be a bit longer. We're going to have 2 screens of level 1, I suppose, technically, or something like that. Frame counts times level, which I need defined as a global in here so I can access it, right? Whoa, now that's too much. Okay, so maybe my modulo height is not like super working. Let's rewind this here, right? So the score is the frame count, and the height is 400. So I'm going to start getting my first, like through my first full screen of it. Yeah, that's the problem. Like it's changing level every frame. Ah, oh, maybe it's surprised. Maybe a priority of operators again. Maybe frame count modulo height, and that's greater than level. Still no. Hmm. Let's have that bigger. And before text, I'm also gonna like fill it in light gray. Okay, but that wasn't the problem. My problem is now I've got exclamation mark because I collided. But yeah, so this is meant to be counting it. Fine, I'll just increment, right? So every time the frame count modulo height gets larger than. Oh, that's not modulo. Obviously, it's not modulo. I'm being tired. It's like integer division, so like the actual answer the level becomes like level increments, but like it's the conditional was broken as well, not just the. Yeah. So plus equal, it's like equal level plus one. So earlier on, and that's valid for a number of operators. This kind of operator equal. If I do plus equal one here, I can also do where I was doing my modulo. Yeah, and here is simply percent equal. Right, now that's a bit better. So it stays slow for like the first 400 or maybe even 800. Probably even 800, yeah. I should have started my level at 1. Oh, but also I'm not doing the acceleration. Fine, okay, so frame count divide height, that's going to be 0 until I reach 400, and then there's going to be 1, right? And so let's initialize the level at 0 so that we bump it, I guess. Yes, no, of course. And what I also want here is frame count multiply level. So we're accelerating. But, okay, multiply. But the problem is if I start at 0, then I can't multiply it by 0 because otherwise they're not moving. Although that's going to, I guess they're static at first. That's level 0. How do I do that? Level 1. And then, oh, I just simply do level plus 1, right? So every time it's greater than level, or level minus 1, right? Yes, level minus 1, because I initialized it at 1 to avoid multiplying by 0. Not as bad as dividing by 0, but that means my things wouldn't move. And having done this, no, that's the other way around. Like I leave level at 1 and then it does this. Cool. And then that's going to accelerate when I reach 400. I've not actually done the game over yet, but like we're nearly there because yeah, we're going to be using level, and if level is 0, then that's game over, and we're setting level at 0 in the player collision detection code. All right, first, whoa, that's reset. That seems to have reset the seed. Ah, no, okay, of course, yes, I've had the same problem. Yes, I've had like one of the members of the club where we're running this project have the same issue, and I did promise I would kind of look into it and see if we can get a fix. The problem is that because we multiply, it's frame rate multiply by the speed, then hmm, sorry, by the level, if we switch level, the things are going to jump. So there's one frame between one frame and the next. They're going to be thing. So 5 minute bio break. Okay, 5 minute timer, and then it's like back in this, and I should like mute. Let's put it in super only screen and then cut. Yeah, excellent. And then mute the One. Mm-hmm. Cut. And are we unmuted? Am I live? Can I just stop this? And I'm just going back a bit early, but I'm gonna let it run through just in case some people are actually taking 5 minutes to go to the toilet and are watching live, which I doubt. Oh wait, we had some concurrent viewers. Concurrency. Um, what is happening? Oh, this is from the start. I want to see it live though. Yes, okay, this is now. All right, okay, we are back in, or very briefly, in like 1 minute. Inspiration has struck over in the most unlikely of places, perhaps predictably, and I know how we can make them accelerate smoothly. And in hindsight, it was actually obvious. I'm not sure I didn't think of it. When was it? Like Wednesday lunchtime in the room, but no. Spoiler alert: we were making our speed as far as we're using level, and level. Obviously, we want to display to the player they are at level. Well, we get the score. That's kind of the same. Um, we're not going to be able to make them like kind of move like that and then accelerate. We would have to keep track of their state, which we're not really doing. It's implicit because the seed mean that those random numbers are just always rolled the same way, but technically they're regenerated every time. So we don't know where they are, so we can't make sure they redisplay in the same place and just keep moving faster. If we're using like object-oriented programming, as you do when you develop proper game, even like the next level above this is really clearly like OOP, either in processing or in like Pygame. But what we can do is actually, yes, and we are back. We were back like a while ago, but yeah. We can do it simply actually at score, or indeed, because what we're doing here as our level is like score integer divide by the height, but if we make that a frame count actually. Mm. Uh, I'll do it. I'll do it the hard way. There's a way this factorizes, so it's frame count multiplied by frame count, but this time kind of real number divided by the height, and this should make them accelerate continuously, although they might start very slowly. Yeah, they're starting very, very slow, and they're probably going to accelerate to an unmanageable level, although I'm not very fast myself. I think the game itself is quite slow. Oh no, okay. I mean, to be fair, it is rendering 700 obstacles, most of them off screen. I may have a slight optimization problem. What I'm going to do is, I guess, reduce the number of obstacles and reduce the number of screens. Boom, I've lost. No, I've not lost yet. I will have an exclamation mark when I lose. Yeah, because it has to be the middle, so actually I've got quite a bit of leeway. It's really 1 pixel. And I've lost. Okay, so I don't know which level I've reached. Oh, I guess I do. I just have to switch back. Yeah, level 3. Level 3? Yeah, 903, right? Like divided by 400, whatever. So I've gone like 3 full screens out of 50. So we're never going to reach like screen 50, right? Like in the demo, because they accelerate, they multiply, like it kind of like increases every level in the tutorial. Like, is that like big enough to be seen by people? Well, it's a bit bigger, but like 110. That's be nice. Yeah, well, as it with my is this right? So well, let's start with like just only 200 of those and 10. Yes. I like the Raspberry Pi code editor has got a Command D or Control D mapped to multi-select of the same string, which is like standard in IDEs and is very helpful. The little magic trick I just did. Okay, so that is running a bit smoother and therefore a bit faster. And yeah, let's see if I can beat my record. Well, let's kind of like detect losing, right? Like detect the actual collision properly. When I detect a collision, I should reinitialize the game. So this is the bit that's actually in the tutorial, but I've not like technically gone through myself. But it can't be that complicated. So it's in here, in player. Oh, the cat wants to be on my lap. Such a needy cat. I was used to, hello, say hi to the internet, Figaro. I was used to like feral cats, right? Like cats that would take 6 months before they would kind of like maybe sniff your hand. So I love those cats, but I find them a bit needy. Um, so I can't believe I'm bad-mouthing you. Sorry, distracting. We were talking about detecting the collision, and it's in player, right? And we're filling in red. That's fair enough. But what we're going to do here is we're going to set level to 0 because we started it at 1, right? So level 0 means like the game is over. And in draw, let's leave the background all the time. Uh, if level is larger than 0, then we like actually run the game with like obstacle player score. Else, okay, let's have some comments when we're doing. This is game running, and this is game over, man. Game over. So game over, we're going to reinitialize score. Oh, so I do need to have level and score here. It's nice to have to do a bit of that kind of thing because, you know, like a lot of, we don't need to type with things, we don't need to pre-declare them before initializing them in Python. So we do some of that rigor from older languages, slightly less user-friendly programming languages. Score 0 if I've lost the game, obviously, and then I need to level sets back to 1 and I just restart. I need to keep track of a high score. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. High score. And that starts at 0, right? And did I spell that correctly? No. Very good. I mean, I could spell it HTHCSCR. We get it. The high score starts at 0. And then when I score, I will simply say, okay, fine. I kind of need like, I need this. I need to make score global as well. I'm back to having a score variable. So score by default when the game is running is equal to the frame count, which means I put score Control C in here. Yeah, and then if score divided by height level, which I have -1. I don't really know why we need the levels and the score, but fine. I think the levels were for like, now that we're doing continuous acceleration, you know what? Yeah, just let's not be, don't need that. I don't need levels at all. Like the AVC song. Tune more like, okay, level. I'll tell you that later on. I'm just using the score now. High score has to be a global because, yeah. You know, so what I'm going to do now, actually, whilst I'm here, let's refactor as we go along because it's nice. We have player X, which I'm going to move here. So I'm going to have a global line for the constants and a global line for the variable. The Carneys. All right, of this world. And whilst I'm here, I might as well kind of separate. So, well, yeah, just a bit of housekeeping. Initialize constants, constants in caps because that's the tradition, and this is initialize variables, which I can't kind of underemphasize, but that's the thing. And then like initialize the game window, the canvas. Let's use so the little bit of the scripts of processing are sketches, regardless of the language, and your folder for them is your sketchbook, and the area of rendering in the screen, yeah, is called the canvas. Yeah, it's an art framework. Let's have a bit of space here. Move the collision, else draw. So don't need the level. We kind of need the level. Well, so we use the level for one thing. Let's do score equals 0. Yeah, right. Score equals 0. What I'm going to do is I'm going to initialize score as 1. Yeah, because otherwise I'm going to have multiply 0 or something. No, we're using frame count here, so I don't need to worry about this. I think I've changed too many things and now it's going to break. What's going on? So scores 1. I do need this to be a global here because I'm setting it to 0 if I collide. And then when I'm scoring in score, I'm scoring this. But if, no, in draw, score, and in draw, I got score and high score. Um, so if score is larger than high score, uh, colon, then high becomes equal to score. I don't understand why able to complete some but not others. And ooh, \n for the line break. Oh, actually, no. Let's do this nice. No, it's text. It's not print. Sorry, print has got a separator system, but here that's not the case. \n, and then I can do high score, colon space, and then high score. Still no, not auto-completing. It's bizarre. Level is not defined like 74. So I thought I would have gotten rid of level. Yes, okay, so if the score is larger than 0, the game is running, otherwise the game is over. Which we don't want to reset score. What we want to do is kind of hang. Can I just do this? So press return to continue. Continue. That should no, and then what do I do? Then I kind of like set score to 1, so I'm out of game over mode, and I'm kind of golden. Function and int 74. Ah, yes, of course, yes. This is going to be not score. It's going to be like display score. Workout and display score. I was using score as a verb, right? Like score the game. Tally points. Fine. Display. Handle scores. Display score. Which means that here I need to be. So draw. I need display score all the time. Actually, probably. I don't know. Depends. No, because then sorry, because this resets the frame rate, so I don't want that. Yeah, fine. I'll display the score somewhere else, but it's display score. Display score. Num score 74. So what's left now? What do you mean it's not defined? It's like it's here. Has it not been initialized? Is that the problem? On 74. Yes, by the point at the first draw, we've not. We should have gone into setup, though. Oh, have I not made it? I have not made the global. Yeah, that's the problem. I know it's going to run on some of those. Yeah, okay. I mean, the high score doesn't probably need to be there all the time. Well, now, or just maybe it should just be next, as you said, next door. It should be to the right of the screen. Okay. So this is where I'm gonna need to start working on the bonus that makes my player go faster. But like, this is kind of taking shape. I like this. It's accelerating way too fast. I'm gonna have some problems with that, but I can deal with that in time. I just want to do some more mechanics. Sorry. Oh, my darling cat, you are sat on my to-do list. Yeah. I tested the feed at 2, and I was like, I need to kind of know where I'm going in this because there's like so many ideas, and I've got a bit of the ADHD. So, oh, did that work? I just want to test my game over. So let's hit an obstacle, and boom, that didn't work at all. Excellent. So, where I detect the collision is in player, which is at the top here. If the corner is a corner obstacle, then I think I printed red, and I set the score to 0, which I've defined as a global here. Oh, but then since right after that, I used display score. Yeah, okay. I see what's going on. Yeah, since right after that, I called display score, and I set the score to the frame count here. That's a problem, right? So I need to say that if score is not equal to 0, then we do this. Uh, Actually, I'm gonna maybe like kind of include just that. And here, I'm going to try a \T, which is normally a tab, but it depends. Tab means different thing to different pieces of software. So we'll see how processing renders that. Ooh, 64. Of course, it's... Yes, I need to be indented all the way from here, obviously. Yes, not bad. Might want to have two tabs. Okay. Press return to continue. Kind of didn't continue though. Still we're getting there. I like this. So this set scores to one. Score. It's a single score to one. And okay, I see what's going on. Yeah, yeah. So we want actually make we want to use score here and here. So it's like Windows D or Apple D, whatever. So, score, not core, hard score. So that if I lose the game, I don't restart with like a speed of previously, but a low score. But that's not the problem I have here. So I'm here, and then I hit an obstacle. Game stops. Press returns to continue, which is kind of the input. And then I've pressed return, but it doesn't come back here. I'm not sure what happens, to be honest, when there's like you stop it in processing here. And then that should get back to. I mean, maybe because it's stop interruption, then processing will stop calling the draw every frame. That must be the problem. Um, so else the game is over. We set the score to zero. The score's already set to zero. So the game is over, and we're not gonna. What do we do? We display the score. Probably display the score again. Why not? But nothing else. Well, the background, obviously, but that's it. And, well, then they'll have to restart the game, right? We're not going to kind of even handle this, but we display the score, and that's it. Okay, I'm here, collide, boom. That's not very helpful, is it? Except display score. I can't display the score. I need to kind of do this by hand again because, fine. Uh, we've done this last time. We only display one bit of text, and it's here, so I'm not gonna. I should really for cleanness, but uh, right, the text is just kind of high score, but this time they're going to be, they're going to get bigger to start with, because like here I'm going to want them back into 16 maybe. And actually I lie, so then I want something there. And uh, I'm going to take my obstacle color because I know it's the complementary one, and now the fill is going to be the obstacle color. And this time it's like 22, and it's in the middle of the screen, certainly in. I have two tabs. And the middle of the screen meaning X, no, Y is 200. I'm going to have two tabs here as well. This is like completely, that's not what I expected. Yeah, because I put \Y, don't know the T. Okay, back to 22. Yeah, that's pretty good. Score zero. I score. Yeah, of course it's gonna go. It's gonna show score zero. That's the problem. I need two things. Do I need two variables? It's annoying. This was. You know what? Frame count and frame rate equals 0. Would that work? Okay, so here I'm gonna want it bigger here, and wow, I've completely lost it, right? And the iScore is still running, which is kind of, I don't understand why this is. You can't have frame rate inside. You can't change frame rate inside draw. That's fair enough. That would make sense, right? You can't just like start changing the speed of the projector. So, well, the high score is the high score, right? Because that's like the high score should imply several games. I I need a game over variable. That's good because then I could actually game over is a boolean. Game over is false initially. Uh, it's false. And this is where if we touch it, instead of score equals 0, I say game over becomes true, which means I also need to have it. I don't need the score anymore in there, I don't think. Yeah, I don't need to have it. I need to have it declared as a global. And in that means I can actually now use score and high score as I used to, right? Because I don't need to kind of like cheat around this. Um, and that's we're back to score here. And this is where I'm not testing on game over. So that's going to be if not game over. The game's not over. Yeah, then I don't need the comment, right? We can see how having meaningful variable names and variable types rather than using kind of the level as 0 is helps kind of make self-documented code that's easier to maintain. Still don't have the scores gone. Oh, 2. Yeah, that's why I wanted 22. Okay, and this is where I'm now actually going to put a \n. Excellent. Cool. All right, that's better. So I'm playing, I hit an obstacle, oh, I dodge one, still dodging them. Boom. So yes, here's the problem. I thought that one, well, that's a future problem. I noticed the game is actually easier than it looks because we detect collision only in the center of the sphere than in the anywhere in contact, which means that I can kind of like really come close and never, well, too close, but you get the idea. That means in particular that I can't have like things that make the player bigger or larger. So I don't necessarily have the player size as a variable, but that also means that I can have a smaller player because that doesn't make the game easier. Just kind of visually kind of like neater basically, right? So like let's have 10. Now I'm like a small little marble. Mm-mm. Mhm. Okay, what was next? Right, so this, yeah, because this is about maintaining game state and then kind of like scrolling, I've got this almost exponential acceleration. Now, I have a high score. There's a reason for this, is so that when I'm here, I need to find a way to, I'll simply do this. So this is going to kind of keep displaying this. And what I'll do is here, I'll say if mouse pressed, fingers crossed. And then I say, yeah, in that case, I reset the game and we're back on. We're back on with, do I have game over here? I will also have the score. That's good. I've kept it here. Uh, hmm. Score 0, score of 1. Doesn't really matter. Score of 1. Don't know if I still use it. Yes, because do I still use it here? Yes, because I don't. I need to. Yeah, okay, that's the fact. So score is 1. That's the correct initialization. I could have an initialize score subroutine, but Okay, and as it slowly speeds up. Hmm. Okay, P5 input and output reference. Okay, sometimes you get a draft for the documentation. I'm surprised it took me an hour to start looking into the documentation, if I'm honest. Uh, Input, evidently, and mouse underscore pressed. Oh, is mouse pressed? Oh, hmm. Okay. It's an event handler. Well, I mean, who knows if they have it in the processing they have keyboard. Mouse is pressed. Okay, very good. That's what I want. Okay, collide with something. Boom. and then I click, I press. Mouse is pressed is not. Come on, it's in the thing. It exists. Lies, 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 lies. Okay, I can probably work with this. Keys pressed. Will that work? I mean, at this stage, well, I should press the whole thing. I just like keys pressed. If I can't, if there, I mean, to be fair, I can believe that the input might be something that's difficult to do because it comes from the browser, right? So it's like the browser will intercept things because you can pass them on. Yeah, 87. All right, so we can't do that. Oh, I know. This is very elegant. Uh, okay. The problem is that I'm going to need to have, again, some more of those pesky little globals. So I need to use the one where the one input is mouse X and mouse Y, weirdly. Probably because it's HTML5, it's a canvas element or something. I guess I don't know. So I can do something where I can put a circle on the screen and you move here when you want to restart the game. And that's cool because I can keep with the keeping, right, of the kind of general vibe of minimalistic and colors. Which means I'm going to need to have player X, player Y, and we display the thing, and then I'm going to get the player code, I guess, right? So it's like, oh, fill PL and ellipse player. Yeah, okay, so that's like, this is my player drawing code. Ooh, very good. So draw it. Ooh. Fill it with the player color. Draw the player. Yeah, I need the player X update line, which is this one here. We need to move lateral speed. I've made this a variable the first time I defined it. I typed it like straight up in lowercase, so surely, oops, I meant to take the whole line probably. Yeah, so we're still kind of like moving the player, I guess. Let's mouse keys pressed. But that we established this doesn't exist, right? Collide player Y. What do you mean player Y is not defined? Come on, it's a global, which itself is written here, but never kind of like, yeah, okay, never written back to the global scope. Boom. Key express not defined, that's fine. That's why I'm kind of like writing this whole thing. I now still have the player, and when that kind of moves, well, it doesn't if I've got this stuff, but that's fine. Try it again. Game over. And then I can move the player. Excellent. And so now I'm going to display simply a okay, so this is for the I'm also going to draw an ellipse of at so it needs to be on player Y, but at 350, I guess. No, sorry, I need to be at 0.8 times width, right? Better, so that will work if I scale it up. If you get a computer powerful enough to run this, like not in the browser and so on, I can have this in much higher resolution. Which then would be a problem because this is where I need a larger number of enemies because like everything gets scaled up accordingly. That's the X, and the Y is going to be player Y, so I can actually reach it and deliberately collide with it. And of OSZ, right? But I not imported this as a global. So I've got the obstacle size and I have the player size as well, which I used in here. Okay, collide, and then what? So I've got this and I can get over it. Does that help? We'll find out. So now, uncomment this, but instead of key is press. So if I'm just going to run my same collision detection code, which is super, this, right? So if I collide with this kind of enemy, essentially, this object, this obstacle, then the game over is false, meaning the game restarts and the score starts again at 1. It's certainly in theory, it's trying to my intent, and then no. Don't know why. This, don't have an answer for this one. I get the size, I've got the colors, I've got OB. Uh, 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 uh. Does get return A? Okay. Ah, but of course I need to do that before I draw the player, obviously, because otherwise, if I get a player X and player Y, the color I have is the player color. Oh, I can't just settle down, and then yes, very good. Okay, that's the score ellipse. That's the kind of obstacle. And then before I display the thing, I need to have my test here. And then if the test hasn't matched, ooh, why is this like that? If I'm not going to the test, I don't need to. Yeah, boom. Then that will restart. Yeah, excellent. And let's start to do again at 0. Okay, so I'm kind of like more than an hour in, but I've got this, and it's constantly accelerating. It's doing cool things. We could have an alternate background. 808. Boom. Very good. Let's see if we can reach 909, but I've definitely beaten 303. I've never gone like past like 2 screens. That's because of the acceleration is just so much quicker. Which I think for playability rather than kind of the fun of additional game development, I do that. Let's make something for nothing. The point of this, I'm going to have something like, call them clouds or cosmetic, just some mm, uh, non-obstacle, not nub. And that's my color picker, right? How about flavors? If I take this one, right, and then I'm here and I take some shades of this. Ooh, what's going on? Why is that not working? Oh, snap. Okay, so what color picker? Yes. What numbers do I have? Okay, let's take I want some shades of the player. No, some shades of the background actually. So 52, 235, 155 as before. Oh, 52, 235, 155. And then let's have some shades. But okay, so tint more than shades, I guess. Yes. Okay. So that's kind of going to be backgroundy essentially, right? That's my knob color. I don't really need to explicitly have the knob color since Sang has only really, but you know what? Yeah, I mean that's kind of useful just because if you want to change the color scheme easily, uh, but I'm not gonna be detecting touching those kind of because they're non-objects, so they're not involved in collision detection. I just want to display them. Uh, so I'm simply going to in my draw have a display the score. I might actually having on top of the score. That's quite fun. Uh, Obstacles. Obstacle. Mm. Obstacles, and let's have it here. Def obstacles. And for this, the problem is that Okay, let's say that for in range, I'm not going to touch the seed. That's going to be driven by the. We need to kind of reset the seed only once every frame, otherwise that might lead to kind of slightly unpredictable behavior, I guess, which we're already doing in the obstacles. So I could have actually put that in the obstacle function, but it's nice to have the different things. So simply for in range what? In range. Yeah, I need some global, don't I? Global, globals? No, global. Is it N? No. O N. Uh, for each of those, we are going to be nubx. We're going to randint. So that's a randint between 0 and width. And nub y. That's a randint between 0 and I'm gonna make them move slower, not faster, because they're gonna move faster. It feels they're gonna be in the foreground. So like if you're from the top and they're clouds, but like if slower in the background. So we're going for my kind of like I'm thinking more molecules than planes for because this sphere. So why not molecules of bacterium or bacteria microbes. So anyway, 0 to height. So because they're going slow, I don't need as many. Which how many for the obstacles? Which means they're going to be more concentrated, which is gonna be quite cool, I suppose. Uh, Player obstacles 10. Well, I make them like 5 then, yeah. And so I've got my knob Y and a knob Y. That's yeah, I do need it actually as a yeah, actually I do need it because it's a rendering function. Fill knob and ellipse. Knob X, knob X, knob Y. Um, More concentrated but smaller. So the player is what did the player was? Piece size is 10. Let's make them 5. Yeah, 5 is tiny, but it's fine. And just one number. Well, hello. Yeah, cool. All right. So if they're smaller, they kind of like purport to be kind of behind. Then I need the obstacles. So they kind of back obstacles. I want them first thing essentially, right? Now actually I might like leave them here, so that's gonna keep running. Oh, I did say I wanted them to move slower, which I don't think. Oh, they're static at the moment. That's not. Well, you can have them static. That's the first one, and then whoa, things are changing. Oh yeah, because then the seed is yeah, the seed is busted. Okay, maybe we need to have the other plus frame count divide something or just no. Well, 1 pixel. Yeah, because they're tiny. So like 1 pixel, 1 pixel. Well, I don't know, 1 pixel frame plus frame count, and then I need the knob y modulo equal height times 5. Okay, run this. Oh, whoa, yes, that's because it's underscore, not a plus. Right. Oh, so now they seem to be moving faster. Well, because they don't have the kind of progressive acceleration of the others, of the actual obstacles, and then they continue on my game over screen. Yeah, it feels more like snow. How about that though? Yeah, like it better, right? So now we're kind of bubbling up. And they're going to be bubbling up at constant speed. Oh, wow, I really need to kind of like do something about the natural speed. So how about we get a random green bonus? That hello cat. Stop that. Mm. I'm at the list. I'm at the end of my to-do list. There's plenty more we can be doing, like obstacles that move sideways. I think, yeah, maybe make that 30 actually, with the player size 10. I'm bored of this layout of obstacles. I'm just going to change it real quick, which you can do if you are bored of your obstacles. On obstacles, you can simply just changing it by one, right? Will tremendously change the randomization. Uh, okay, small obstacles, certainly easy enough until it speeds up, and then I guess this time I'm able to get a decent high score. Okay, there's still a really nice wide berth here. All right. I wish I had like a bit of inertia, like if I kind of like shoot back. That's something we can implement. Oh, of course, it's only the center of the. Boom. Oh, wow. That's looks like my game over is not working. Oh no, because it like reset itself too quickly. Yeah, I think that's not resetting correctly, or it doesn't seem to forget the score. So it touches it, it's like this, and is equal to 1, and that's a global score. And then it's, yes, I need to increment when I'm scoring rather than set it to it or something. Hmm. Score equal to frame count. Score is not equal to frame count, that's the point. Score plus equal 1. Yeah. We just increment the score every frame. We don't need to kind of keep track of where that's going because we're not doing the level things anymore, so that's fine. Super. I can't even. That new seed doesn't allow me to collide with and test my game over straight away. That's actually annoying. Um, okay, and then get back, and the high score's been kept at 205, and then the scores at reset for now. Okay. Next up, so I'm gonna have a bonus that's gonna need a color. I guess that's gonna need a size. Definitely gonna need a color because this is obviously, well, yeah, we know that the thing. And so what we can do, because it's almost one loop. Do I want one loop for this? Yeah, probably do. Although it's like, no, I don't even need that. I don't need to put in this. Yeah, I have to see. No, so that's gonna be its own function using the global, having defined the bonus color, which might just kind of be n. And it's going to be a little green. Let's keep the. I could make that. How about a green rectangle or square? 1200. I mean, it's just kind of. Yeah, it's kind of engaging. I've got no obstacle. Oh, yeah, it does code folding. Brilliant. Yes, so this is my project. How many lines of code? 115. Well, plenty of blank lines. Doesn't count. Okay, I got my player obstacle, but display score my obstacle, and some blank lines for reasons. And now when I draw, whilst the game is running, I'm gonna want after the obstacles, actually before the obstacle, no, because then yeah, so that way they're gonna display on top, which means that some of them might be unreachable, but that's fine. Bonus bracket. Um, I don't think I need the colors of the bonus in here because I'm only using the color of the obstacle in the player because to test that kind of like, that interface essentially. So in here, let's do them. The order in which I wrote them, the bonus is going to be use a global bn, which means my setup is mm, mm, setup is also going to need a bn, which is going to be I can take to the color picker. Excellent. So how about the quadriphonic, no tetradic? Well, I'm just making stuff up now. It's just a little bit ugly. Background player. I mean the yellow for a bonus, unless I make the background yellow and the bonus. Mm, okay, how about tints? Was it tints or shades? Shades, tones. Oh, more or less saturated. That's really good. Uh, I think this it's already pretty saturated. I picked something quite at the top. Yeah, 255, 62, 255. analogous. None of that screams. Actually, that could be a. Is that already a thing? Are we using this? We're using this. I think that. And a shade of that. We're using the complementary. I'll use this for the bonus. Why not? Okay, that's BN. Is a color with a capital C. And with those particular numbers fed in. So I've got BN, it's here, it's there. I've got bonus, global BN, and then for in range. Okay. I don't know about the number of enemies. There was more so I could. We could increase the difficulty in real time by increasing or decreasing the enemy number, which means we could make it viable, but whatever. Fine, let's use. The problem I have is that the number of enemies, the reason I've put that into one of the reasons I've put that into a variable is that it depends on what kind of how many. Well, I've decided there was 10 screens worth of that, which doesn't matter here because I'm defining also how many screens I rotate them around. Oh, no, okay, so whatever. So maybe just do one. Yeah, so there's a bonus every. But what if I capture? Oh no, okay. Just let's start small. No, because well, okay, whatever. Because it bnx equal to randint between mhm, 0 and width and bny is equal to randint between 0 and height. Ooh, you know it's going to move across the screen as well. Why not? Okay, plus frame count. This time there's no speed. It's like it's full on thing left to right, and then I need to modulo it as well. Well, you know, the 0 height, and then bnx is modulo equal. Yeah, so the logic we've applied to kind of make this scroll top to bottom can think so plus frame count is going to move from the left to the right, positive value, and then so that's plus equal width. But I want this to be generated on however many, say, times. Okay, I've got 5 of them on 5 screens. 2 screens. I want to see if I've got this, and then for each of those, we are going to set the fill color to BN and ellipse BNX BN. Well, yeah, and that's probably going to be a 5 width, width, line 88, 88. Oh, width. But height at the H before the T. Height? I must be tireder than I think I am. In fact, the fact that I used the word tireder, more tireder, more tired. I'm not seeing any. Did I see a bonus? I just maybe I should have made it. Oh, it's here. No. Ah, but I can't catch it if it doesn't move up and down. Of course, right? Okay, so that's stupid. Mm, I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna maybe use the same logic as an obstacle. So it's like. So I'm gonna need to have score as a global and bonus. You can see it's not just like I didn't come to it like exactly what I was going to do. I'm finding out stuff as I go along, and then well, obviously, it's quite fun, is what I'm saying. And so just like I've done the modulo, I need to do the same thing with width multiplied 2, right? Because that's how many screens of worth of. So I should have like 5 bonuses every 2 screens, but they're actually quite that their color make them actually quite hard to catch. So height. So let's review our color picker. Perhaps, maybe this is not maybe that. Maybe this on this background. Well, no, they were meant to be light blue. I don't know. That should, I don't know. Yeah, I can see why I don't necessarily viewers might not be interested in that or not exist. But then, okay. Oh yes, here's my bonus. No, it's very discreet. It's harder to make out over the background than it is. It works over the enemies, but over the background, it's very tricky to make out. Did I ever seeing it? Oh yeah, here. No, this wasn't. It wasn't it. Okay, I need a better color. Maybe this one. And what's good now is that you just need to go into one place and here in my constants, just put the values of the slightly more contrast. Whoa! No, 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 not our precious 52, whatever. Like it's this one. Or precious, or classic. Okay. All right, I see they're moving left to right. Well, now they're too close to the... Oh, they're actually the complementary. Okay, so I need the purple. I'm gonna get there. I'm definitely too tired. Is it this one? Fine, this one. Fine. We've done the bonus. Look, we've done an hour and a half, right? Okay, what do you want? What more do you want from Sir? Ah, sorry, I'm just... Yeah. Okay, BN is the color I'm changing. Let's get back on track. Cool. Now I've got little bonuses flying left to right and slightly up and down as well. Oh, no. Okay, so I can get this one. I can get this one. No, I can't. Maybe this one. Boom. Okay. So, well, yeah, but except what happens then? Yeah. Oh, what does happen then? I could do collision detection here, but no. In draw, right, we are making sure home. Yeah, I don't like that it doesn't respond to, doesn't kind of like follow the cursor. I get more feedback than I thought I had for the Raspberry Pi people. Where am I? Draw, obstacle, bonus, then player. Right, which means I can detect bonuses. So, in player, which is here. Okay, collapse. I should really be collapsing the ones I'm not working on. So we've done bonus. Let's just display the bonus, but consuming the bonus will be the end. I have to decide what. Maybe temporary invulnerability. I could change the player color for a bit. So in here, I'm just gonna get like the thing. It's elif. I don't need this anymore. Elif get player x. You know, I'm probably just gonna say dumb variable name. Don't like this, but needs must. There's the one that Raspberry Pi that Code Dojo that the actual tutorial recommends, but that's technically more like the color where the player is. TCWPI? Okay, and if the color where the player is, also known as collide, dot hex is equal to bn dot hex, then how about I could do fill green and make you invisible for a bit? No, make you move faster. Ooh, that's good. And then your lateral speed. Your lateral speed. So that's gonna be for one. The setting is like it's gonna be for one pixel. Fine, it will flash, but your lateral speed becomes equal to 1 point. Let's have 1.5. So it multiplies itself, right? Multiplies itself. You get it. Becomes equal to itself multiplied by 1.5, meaning that I'm getting 50% more lateral speed. I think. Well, I also need to. Oh, I need to destroy I need to not draw it. I need to consume it. Yeah, that's the problem. Well, let's see if my lateral speed. I might. Yeah, it looks like this is kind of. Oh no. Okay, fine. Okay, that worked. That's pretty cool. There's no easy way to, yeah, that's segmenting, that's raising the lateral speed too much, but it does work in principle. It doesn't really feel good from a game design perspective because it doesn't feel like I've captured the bonus. except that I don't know how I could reseed. I could reseed the. Yeah, I'm going to do that actually. Uh, mm, fine. So I'm going to in the variable for the bonus seed and call it B seed, which is going to be like whatever the first one was in that instance. So in bonus, it's just there's always something to do before I kind of shut it off. So it's like I'm still working on this, but yeah, I got to get it just right. I got to get it just right. It's the autism probably. Oh, hmm, fine. So in here I'm going to seed with B seed. Uh, let's have this one be called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope I can. Is that going to work with 2 seeds? Okay, I don't need player. Well, not just now. Um, 210. Why not? It doesn't have to be a big number. It's just a number, like a 0, 1, whatever. It starts with 0 and 1, right? Like the put your birth date or, yeah, I could make it special. And then you get your custom game for you. Uh, okay, draw, bonus, bonus, and B seed. I want to seed with B seed, right? And I'm doing is when I capture a bonus, meaning in player when I've detected a collision or detected that my collide, which is the color at the location of the 1 pixel of the location of the player. So it's actually a very easy game because you're 1 pixel and you just need to have that 1 pixel not hitting anything. And you'd think it would be super easy because we get 400 by 400 pixels on our canvas, which is 16 something 160,000, whatever. And yet, so here I reset the B seed. I just increment the B seed, right? So it's still going to be different. And I want also it to be in here. This means that not only is the one thing, the one bonus I've captured also going to disappear. They're all going to disappear. And it resets them all. Boom. Yes. And then so I could potentially win an extra one. From they're moving right and forcing me to go towards the. Oh, I missed it. They should be accelerating at the same speed as the obstacles, or because we want to try and make it look like it's the player that's accelerating. And oh, missed it. Gosh, yeah. So when we get 1 pixel, is to capture the bonus. That's actually maybe your score should be based on capturing. Yeah. So instead of making it, we could have the score be rather than be based on survival, the score be based on actually capture of those things, or of other things, right? That you could have, and those could be gold coins, etc. Well, gold coins, not gold coin images. Just it's nice to have each thing be its own color, and I was trying to go for related colors with this HTML color picker that does, tetraidic and triadic. Ah, gosh darn it! Is there an heptaidic? It's just me that's rubbish. The capturing the thing works. I'm just not very good at this game, or I'm too tired there. All right, so that was Collide Not, an exciting, wow, almost 2 hours. Let me just like show up back to full screen. Uh, Ta-da! Fade. 700 milliseconds of fade. All right, that was Collide Not, a game about not colliding with obstacles that are of the complementary colors, but maybe colliding with the bonuses that are of that tetradic color. There was a lot in there, but it's just to show that this runner game or kind of dodger game, like non-colliding game, has got a lot more legs, or indeed whatever they run with or don't collide with, than you could think. Thank you for watching. I doubt you've done this for the full hour, 40 minutes, but I'll probably be able to point people to specific timing